right, guys, this is it. I'm so excited. So I gotta take my slippers off or they're gonna make a lot of noise. So on Monday, I said I didn't know what I'd have for Friday. And literally as soon as I got done uploading that video, I clicked onto just the YouTube logo to see what was up, make sure there wasn't anything I needed to watch before I got back to work. And my favorite video of the year. Chantel reads all day. She has her Read Your Bookshelf Challenge video. It is up, and I have my stack of suggestions for myself, and I've got a few thoughts for others. But yeah, this one, it was kind of funny. Most of it was really easy. I just went in, I remembered what the prompts were. I went in and I, was looking for a few things because I know like there's a map. One of the prompts is there's a map. Just because I know that that's one of the prompts doesn't mean that I know all the books that I haven't read that have maps in them. Neville's thirsty. Anywho, so had to go on a map hunt. I think I got a good one. And I'm not scared. So, but yeah, so I've only got like 45 minutes to do this because I have, well, maybe I can hit pause and go put it in the oven. I can do that. So we're good. We're safe. All is well. I've got Hungarian coffee cake in the oven because today, when this comes out, is our Thanksgiving, and we must needs have the coffee cakeness. My kids are going to be shocked. Because there's like more of us now than there used to be. And I usually make 2 to 3. I only made 1. And the reason I only made 1 is that we don't have everybody living here that's nibbling on them for the next few days. So I have, boatloads of leftover coffee cake once they all go home. That usually they'll take a few pieces. But there's still like 1.5 coffee cakes. And we just can't eat all that. I'll put a picture of what it looks like in here. It's going to be part of a video later, but they're these little discs. Some people mistakenly call this monkey bread. Monkey bread is a very different animal, literally and breadily. Yay, breadily, I say to you. Hungarian coffee cake is not the mess that is monkey bread. Don't get me wrong, monkey bread is good, it's great, it's fine, whatever. But Hungarian coffee cake is an event. It takes a very long time. Each individual piece has to be cut into a circle, rolled out, cut into a circle, kind of like a biscuit, but thinner. It has to be dipped into butter, and then cinnamon and sugar, and then it has to be layered like bricks, continuing in all fibonacci-like into a angel food cake pan. It's not the balls and the dip and the dump in there and call it goodness. No. This is an art. And yeah, I'm not doing all that work only to be forced to eat a bunch of it. It's like, no, I'm just doing 1. And if we run out this year, maybe next year I'll make 2. And if they're good little boys and girls, okay, boy and girl, my other son's not coming, but I have sons-in-law here, so woohoo! Good little boys and girls, then maybe next year I will make that too. And, if they take them home, I might consider keep making 2, but we're going to go with this. So, here's my, I got to hurry up, and I'm telling a story because this is Shatona and this is what I do. Woohoo! So the Chantel Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, I will link the original video. You need to go check it out. It is what, if I do nothing else reading wise all year, if I only read those 12 books in a year, I'm happy because there's just something about it that just resonates with me. And I like it when it's simple. I like it when it's complicated. I just like it. So I have pulled a few out as I go through. There's a couple that I've thought of. There's a couple I pulled in that I wasn't sure which one, or that might be a suggestion. So we got stuff going on here. So here we go. The first January, number 1, she started it off really simple. The title has to have an article, a and the, okay? And thankfully we're not Greek. There aren't 23 articles. There's only 3 in the English language, unlike the Greeks who are like, hold my, what's that stuff that tastes like licorice? Ouzo, whatever, hold my licorice alcohol I got some for you. No, we only have 3 options, and I would put money on the fact that 1/4 of books in the English language have the word "the" in the title. So I think we're pretty safe. But that one, I chose P.G. Wodehouse's A Damsel in Distress. This is, one of my, if you've never seen the movie with George Burns, Gracie Allen, and Fred Astaire, you need to. It is hilarious. It is so crazy funny. In the movie, I'm going to tell you about the movie and then I'll read the synopsis. But in the movie, we have a singer-dancer guy, Jerry Halliday, who is like the bee's knees. All the girls love him. And he has working for him George Burns and Gracie Allen as a manager / secretary. And they are not married in this one. But the stuff that Gracie Allen says, there's one point where there was a phone call that comes through and, she calls George Burns over and she says, "It's a Hawaiian." And he's like, "How do you know that?" And she said, "Well, he said he's brown from the morning sun." And it's just that kind of just utter nonsense, but it is genius. It is fun. Gracie Allen was brilliant, and we tolerate George Burns because of her, or at least we do in our house. And so, yeah, an Earl's daughter, was it daughter or niece? No, the aunt wants her to marry the nephew. So yeah, an Earl's daughter keeps falling in love with people left and right, and is going to run off. And the aunt is determined to keep her there, and it's just a bunch of hijinks and all the fun stuffness. So, that's what the movie is about. Let's see what the book says, because who knows? Who knows? Well, same name. The Earl of Marshmoreton's lively daughter, the damsel of the title, thinks she's in love with one Geoffrey Raymond, but a cheerful American songwriter called George Bevan knows better. After one meeting with her, when she climbs into his passing cab to escape from her pompous brother in London, brother, interesting. Anyway, George is dazzled. He pursues her to the family seat in Hampshire and does battle for her hand with her brother, their snobbish aunt, and a father who will do anything for a quiet life. Love triumphs in the end with an unwitting help of a sporting butler and a page boy with golden curls and no conscience, making this one of Wodehouse's most charming early comedies. Okay, so the butler in the movie loves opera and likes to sing it, and he's actually, for an opera singer, pretty good. My guess is the person playing him is actually an opera singer. That's my guess. I don't know. I've never looked it up. And then the page boy is not golden haired, can I just say? He's in the movie, he's dark haired, but he's a hoot. And they've got this whole pool going on, which guy she's going to end up with and all the things. So this kid is like doing his best to ensure that whatever he's put his money on is the one that wins and all the things. So it's a whole lot of fun. The movie's a blast, and this sounds pretty close. So let's find out what the first sentence is. I don't always do this, but it feels like a good thing to do because I know I'm going to have to make some decisions, and I think I'm going to use first sentence to help me decide. Inasmuch as the scene of this story is that historic pile, Belpher Castle, in the county of Hampshire, it would be an agreeable task to open it with a leisurely description of the place, followed by some note on the history of the Earls of Marshmoreton, who have owned it since the 15th century. Unfortunately, in these days of rush and hurry, a novelist works at a disadvantage. He must leap into the middle of his tale with little delay, as he would employ in boarding a moving ramcar. He must get off the mark with the smooth swiftness of a jackrabbit surprised while lunching. Otherwise, people throw him aside and go out to picture palaces. I had to keep reading because I could see what was coming next. So, yeah, I think we're off to a good start. Just saying. The next one, another super easy one. The February prompt is a book with 3 or more objects on the cover. She originally wanted to do 5. So I told myself, you know what? It's got to have at least 5 objects on the cover because I'm going to like go all in with this thing, right? So I chose, because I still haven't read it and I feel like really stupid for not having read it because I know I'm going to love it. Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. So let's see what the back of this thing says. This is, I know, steampunky, but what else is there? Miss Clara Marie Stanton's family may be eccentric, but they certainly aren't insane. London, England, 1860. So that's the beginning of the war between the states in America. Interesting. Okay. When Clara's ex-fiancé begins to spread rumors that her family suffers from hereditary insanity, it's all she can do to protect them from his desperate schemes, society's prejudice, and a lifetime in an asylum. Then Clara's grandfather, Drosselmeyer, brings on an apprentice with a mechanical leg, and all pretense of normalcy takes wing. Oh, I almost feel like I should be reading that this month. Anyway, Theodore Kingsley, a shame-chased vagabond haunted by the war, wants a fresh start from Kingsley Court, and the disappointed father who declared him dead. Upon returning to England, Theodore meets clockmaker Drosselmeyer, who hires him as an apprentice, much to Clara's dismay. When Drosselmeyer spontaneously disappears in his secret flying owl machine, he leaves behind a note for Clara, beseeching her to make her dreams of adventure a reality by joining him on a merry scavenger hunt across Europe. Together, Clara and Theodore set off to follow Drosselmeyer's trail of clues, but they will have to stay one step ahead of a villain who wants the flying machine for himself at any cost. So, yeah, I got all the goodies in here still too. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, bare minimum 11 objects just on the front. There are 3, 4 more on the back. So I think it counts. So let's read the first sentence. For Miss Clara Marie Stanton, the task of preventing her family from being committed to an asylum had become as commonplace as it was exhausting. Great opening line. Love it. So that is February. March, a weapon on the cover. The first book I found with a weapon on the cover was A Truth Cursed by Angie Dickenson. Okay, what is this one about? Speaking the truth can be a dangerous thing. I just thought of something. Does this have a... This one has a map too. I could have done it for map, but I needed it for the other. Anyway, Cressida Hoth is alone in the world. Orphaned and unwanted, she is inflicted with a peculiar curse by her mischievous aunts and banished to a finishing school in the secluded kingdom of Dermont. I think it's, or maybe it's Dermont. I'm having trouble telling if that's an R and an N together or 2 M's. I think it's Dermont. Anyway, students train in every accomplishment suitable for young ladies: music, dancing, etiquette, and strangely, poison making, fencing, and lockpicking. The school is a front for a rebel spy ring, and when her training is complete, Cressida is selected to join a mission to infiltrate the kingdom's royal court. She has been thrown unceremoniously into a world of ball gowns and espionage, but she is still under a curse, and it threatens to expose them all. Defending her teammates and her secret, Cressida discovers that the kingdom's buried history and the truth behind her curse run far deeper than she imagined. Okay. So, first sentence. I was only 8 years old when my aunts cursed me. Well, you had it better than Sleeping Beauty, right? I mean, didn't they curse her at her christening, for heaven's sakes? So I'm just saying. Okay, So April says title includes a conjunction. She went all Grammarly on me. I love it. I love all things grammar. Why not a gerund? We could have had a gerund. Gerund. I like gerunds. That's my favorite grammatical element. I love gerunds. Okay, anyway. So this one, I had a really, 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 really hard time. Let me tell you something. You can find prepositions left, right, and center. Prepositions are all over the stinking place. Conjunctions, not so much. I'm just saying. So I ended up with 2. And remember, I'm remembering what these things were. I didn't know the months. So in case this was like September, October, November, or July, I pulled out All's Fair in Love and Christmas. But seeing that it's April, I think I'm just going to put this aside for reading this Christmas. And I'm going to go with Money, Love, and Kate, together with The Story of a Nickel, by Eleanor Is it H. Porter? Yeah, I think it's Eleanor H. Porter. She wrote Pollyanna. Yeah, so The Story of a Nickel is one of my favorite stories of all times. It is such a fun, takes up almost half of this book, or maybe about half of the book. Yeah, I think it takes up about a little less than half of the book. It's a wonderful story about the adventures of a nickel. I mean, it's just, that's what it is, and it's so cool. I know I have read Money, Love, and Kate. I also know that I liked Money, Love, and Kate, but I don't remember anything about it, and I'm pretty sure there is no synopsis. There's none there. There's none. It's very interesting. So you've got your plain end papers and fly leaf. But look where the title is printed up there. I think that's so weird. It's so unusual. And I think, isn't there a picture? Or maybe it's just no, there's not. Chapter titles are, oh. So the title of the book is Money, Love, and Kate, but there's a subtitle, A Snowball of the Fates. That's kind of cool. Anyway, let's read that first sentence. Why not? I'm not going to read the epigraph. I'm going to actually read the first sentence. With a sigh, John Newcomb pulled out his last $5 bill and eyed it frowningly. They clearly hadn't gotten the adverbs or evil memo yet in this time. My sock is twisted and coming off, and I can't think clearly. If you'll notice, I've been jumpy, and that's why, and it's driving me nuts. Anyway, okay, so that was April. May is a book that includes a place. Again, we have a couple of options, and some of these other books here are would work for some of these, but you know, it's what it is. Once more, Harrington's is a store, which is a place. So I had considered Christmas at Harrington's if it was July, September, October, November, December, you know. Usually June and August in particular, probably April, May, June, and August are like my almost never read Christmas books. I don't need to read them in season. I don't mind reading in them January and February, sometimes even March. But then I want a little bit of a break. But then, you know, starting around the end of September, I'm good also with Christmassy stuff. But I don't think I'm going to want Christmas in May. So Christmas at Harrington's will be another one that I will try to get to this Christmas maybe. We'll see. It's going to be part of my, this could be one. So now I have 2 books. They are both World War II. And I will, they're both Revell. So I'm going to tell you why I do want to read them and why I might not. I'm going to read the first sentence, choose from the first sentence. But if you have a reason I should read the other one, I will consider changing my mind. So that said, we have The Long March Home by Marcus Brotherton and Tosca Lee, and we have The Warsaw Sisters by Amanda Barrett. And they're both World War II. They're different theaters, European, Pacific, and we'll see. So let's start with The Warsaw Sisters, Amanda Barrett. I love Amanda Barrett. And that pushed me really close to this because of problems I might have with that. On a golden August morning in 1939, sisters Antonia and Helena Dabrowska send their father off to defend Poland against the looming threat of German invasion. The next day, the first bombs fall on Warsaw, decimating their cherished city and shattering the world of their youth. Okay, I want to know, is she using decimating correctly? It's a personal pet peeve when some place is like obliterated and they call it a decimation. 10% personal pet peeve. I know. I try not to feed them, but they do creep back. When Antonia's beloved Marek is forced behind ghetto walls along with the rest of Warsaw's Jewish population, Antonia knows she cannot stand by and soon becomes a key figure in a daring network of women risking their lives to shelter Jewish children. Meanwhile, Helena finds herself drawn into the ranks of Poland's secret army, joining the fight to free her homeland from occupation. But the secrets both are forced to keep threaten to tear them apart, and the cost of resistance may prove greater than either ever imagined. Okay, there's that one. The Long March Home, Tosca Lee. Now, I was told, I haven't read anything by Tosca Lee. And I was told that if I could only read one biblical fiction book, I needed to read Iscariot by another biblical fiction author, I might add. She was adamant that I should read that one if I could read no other biblical fiction book. My daughter got it as part of that book haul for my birthday, the first year I did BookTube. And she read it on the way from Indiana to California that year. Guys, she didn't love it. She had a lot of problems with it. And I'm most likely to have the same problems that she does, which makes me nervous about this one. But there are two things about it. Number one, this is historical fiction about real people, so maybe that makes me a little nervous. But it's still historical fiction instead of biblical fiction. That's a whole different kind of history here, you know? And there is another author. So my reservations are minor, but I do have them. There's just a little part of me that goes, oh, because I've wanted to read it until I found out how much she didn't love Iscariot. And then I was like, uh-oh. So just putting it out there, I am nervous, but this one does sound so good. So I still have I don't need that. Put it up there. Okay. So The Long March Home. Inspired by true stories, The Long March Home is a gripping coming-of-age tale of friendship, sacrifice, and the power of unrelenting hope. Jimmy Propfield joined the Army for two reasons: to get out of Mobile, Alabama with his best friends Hank and Billy, and to forget his high school sweetheart, Claire. Life in the Philippines seems like paradise until the morning of December 8, 1941, when news comes from Manila. Imperial Japan has bombed Pearl Harbor. Within hours, the teenage friends are plunged into war as enemy warplanes attack Luzon, beginning a battle for control of the Pacific Theater that will culminate with a last stand on the Bataan Peninsula and end with the largest surrender of American troops in history. What follows will become known as one of the worst atrocities in modern warfare, the Bataan Death March. With no hope of rescue, the three friends vow to make it back home together. But the ordeal is only the beginning of their nearly 4-year fight to survive. It's going to be a tough one, but it sounds so good. Ooh. Okay, so because I don't know what to do, if there's a reason I need to read one, tell me. But right now, we're going with first line. Which first line grabs me most? That's only way I can decide. That was how I remembered our names. Okay. Antonia and Helena. That was how I remembered our names, spoken in a single breath, always blended together. Okay. I'm going to admit that normally that would not really, it wouldn't grab me, okay? But I have dear family friends that I grew up with. So my uncle's in-laws, she grew up with them. They were like second parents to her. It was a very thing. And they weren't John and Gloria. They were John and Gloria. Always said together. I've never heard one name pronounced singly until Gloria died. And then the only time I heard John's name, just John, was when he killed himself after his wife died. It's the only time I've ever heard someone say John Olivas. It was always John and Gloria. So it has meaning for me that normally I doubt it would grab me, but that does grab me a lot. So that's kind of weird. I don't know what to do. Oh, this one has a map as well. Okay. All right. So there is a letter before chapter 1, and because the first sentence of this letter is either a date or Dear Jimmy, I'm just going to skip this. It says, I admire the new cut of my khakis in the latrine mirror, flexing just enough to test the stretch of the shirt across my shoulder blades. Absolutely does Zippo for me. There's one thing that both of these, okay, I'm going to be honest about this. There's one thing that both of these could have had that would have made me push toward one or the other too. But they're both written in first person. Let's make sure that one of them isn't present. This one is present tense. I thought I just remembered it being present tense. This one, pretty sure is not present tense. Yes, this is not present tense. For a second there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. And it's going to be my choice unless someone gives me a compelling argument for this one. It's not that I don't want to read it. It's that I keep putting it off because of the other. I thought this might push me over the edge, but it didn't. So, the Warsaw Sisters for place. All right, the coffee cake is in the oven. I got half an hour. Woohoo! Okay, so the June is next, and it is 5 words in the title. Now, once more, I feel like I've read the book. But there's enough about it that I don't remember that I actually think I started the book and didn't finish it for some reason. So The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond, it has 5 words, but I could also do Nightfall in the Garden of Deep Time by Tracy Higley. And this one has 7 words. I'm just saying. So it says 5 or more words in the title. I'm hoping that that's what she actually said and I didn't just make assumptions. So if you look at size, this one is significantly thicker. I don't know. I love this cover so much. Okay, I actually really love this cover too, but okay. So these both have more words. Let's look and see what we've got. The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond. For over a century, the town of Gossamer Grove has thrived on its charm and Midwestern values, but Annalise Forsyth knows painful secrets, including her own, hover just beneath the pleasant facade. Yet her strange and sudden inheritance of a rundown trailer home full of pictures, vintage obituaries, and old revival posters leaves her wholly unprepared for how truly dark and deadly those secrets may be. A century earlier, Gossamer Grove is stirred into chaos by the arrival of controversial and charismatic twin revivalists. The chaos takes a murderous turn when Libby Sheffield, while working at her father's newspaper, receives an obituary for a reputable church deacon hours before his death. As she works with the deacon's son to solve the crime, it becomes clear that a reckoning has come to town. But it isn't until another obituary arrives at the paper that they realize the true depths of the danger they've waded into. Two women, separated by 100 years, must unravel the mysteries of their own town before it's too late, and they lose their future or their very souls. Okay, this is not the one I thought it was, so that means that I have not read this. I'm trying to figure out, maybe it was Misty Wayfarer? No. I don't know what one I thought it was, but it wasn't this one, so I have not read this one. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. So let's find out what the first line is. Libby Sheffield had never stopped to wonder what she would take specific note of if she ever stumbled upon a dead body. Okay, that's pretty brilliant, because how many of us go, oh, I think I'll if I ever run across a body, I'll see if the eyes are open. Because they're always open in British movies and always closed in American movies, and I want to know. I mean, I can't see me doing that kind of thing. So that's a pretty good line. Okay. Nightfall in the Garden of Deep Time. You're invited to a timeless party in a secret garden. Expect to come back transformed. Kelsey Willoughby doesn't have time to pursue her writing dreams. Imagination doesn't pay the bills, and she's busy saving her beautiful bookshop from online competition, hotel developers, and done. I'm sorry. I don't need to read. I'll read the opening line. Let me finish. I'm doing this one. But let me finish. And the sneaking suspicion that nobody reads anymore. Not to mention all those voices telling her she doesn't have talent. But then the vacant lot of weeds next door starts to shimmer. When Kelsey stumbles into a luminous nighttime garden party, larger than the vacant lot that holds it, and filled with enigmatic guests, she suspects they hold the key to saving the bookshop, and perhaps even her own mysterious origins. But answers aren't forthcoming, not until Kelsey is willing to confront her past, step into her potential, and push deeper into the unknown edges of the garden, where an unexpected journey takes her into a world of dangerous revelation. It's going to be really hard to wait. How do I not remember how amazing this book sounds? Yeah. There's a prologue. I'm not doing the prologue because it doesn't really. I'm sure there's a point to it, but right now I can't see it. Anyway, when glimpsed through the eyes of imagination, a city on the threshold of spring holds promise and potential in its asphalt fingers. During the cold weather, an attempt to slither back from its recent retreat, marshalling pedestrians who shed jackets and drivers unrolling car windows as fellow soldiers in the battle toward warmth and leaf and bird song. Nah, that's no good. I love it so much. That is so awesome. Okay, so this is going to be the one I choose, unless there's some reason I should choose this one. And unless, okay, here's the deal. This is my June, unless I can't take it and I have to read it before then. I'm going crazy and I've got to have it. If that happens, then it will probably be The Reckoning of Gossamer Pond, unless I forget that this is the one that I was going to do, but I don't think I'll forget that, so I think we're okay. That's some really fast talking there. Okay, so this is June. Man, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything is beautifully fine. All right, the next one, July, includes a map. So I have 2 books with maps. I went all over that room looking for a book with a map. And let me tell you, it was not easy. Ugh. Okay, so this one has a map. The map is kind of, if I recall correctly, it's kind of weird. I don't know if that'll show very well. But yeah, I'm just going to turn it both ways. So it's not the most amazing map, but there is a map. And it's got a little ding on it. Another brand new book. Anyway, okay. All right, so we can read this from the back. Around Agatha Sea, princesses are poised, magically gifted, and betrothed. So, when 17-year-old Princess Beatrice still fails to secure a betrothed, her parents hold a ball. Forming an alliance could mean the difference between peace and war, but Beatrice doesn't want just any suitor. She's in love with her best friend, Prince Lux. Marrying Prince Lux will always be a silly dream as long as she has no magical gift. Prince Beatrice. Anyway, Princess Beatrice will do whatever it takes to obtain a touch of magic, including making a deadly oath to go on a quest to Valle de los Fantasmas. Fantasmas? Okay. A valley where no one comes out alive. If she can manage to succeed, Princess Beatrice could have everything she desires and secure peace for her kingdom. If she fails, she'll lose not only her greatest dream, but also her kingdom and maybe even her own life. But Zikri may... Okay, this is really weird. It says, but Zikri may harbor a dark secret that will threaten her entire kingdom. Will she ever get her lifelong dream to wield magic? Will she choose Lux or Zikri? Well, this Zikri guy just comes out of nowhere. I don't get it. Okay, I'm kind of a little bit lost. Neither one of them are amazing, so I think I'll go with the prologue because it's 10 years earlier. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I will go with chapter 1. Okay. Starlight faded, and an orange halo graced the mountain-lined horizon with a promise. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just kind of there. But that's okay. There is. I have a lot of books with there. Okay. Now this one has a killer map. It is Beyond Mulberry Glen by Millie Florence. And it is one of the Waxwing, I think. Yes, Waxwing books. I was going to find the page. Okay. 11-year-old Lydia Green doesn't want anything to change. She lives happily in Mulberry Glen with her mismatched family of a fairy guardian, a philosopher, and twin troublemakers known as the Z's. Now rumors swirl about the darkness, a powerful force that dwells in the forest tenebrae. Lydia knows the darkness is nothing to be trifled with, but when a foolish choice by the Z's puts her family in danger, she must leave home and face the strange magical world of the Valleylands. Among the shifting library shelves and new friends of her quest, Lydia uncovers more questions than answers. If she wants to save her family, she will have to be braver than she has ever been before. In this captivating tale filled with heartwarming characters, Millie Florence weaves a tapestry of courage, heart, and magic. Beyond Mulberry Glen is a hope-filled fantasy for readers of all ages. Okay, so I don't know if it's a prologue. It says, in principle, in the beginning. I just want to see if we have chapter 1. Nope. Okay, so each chapter has a title and no actual chapter number. Okay. Our tale begins on a merry morning in autumn. Well, for July, yeah, it's getting close. By July, I'm ready for autumn. Does that count? So, neither opening sentence is just out of this world. The synopsis on this one grabs me more, but I really do want to read this one. I've had it for quite a while. You do this in middle grade March. Okay, I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. Which one am I reading for July? We're going to put both of them there. And I need to know which one for July. Okay, time. All right. So the next one is August. And it has water in the title or on the cover. So I'm going to go with... This book was in the First Baptist Church Library in Florida. Okay. So it says the most recently reissued of her books are Celia's House, Listening Valley, and Rochester's Wife. I don't know if this comes before or after Listening Valley, so this might mean that I have to read another book first. Oh, I'm so sad. Celia's House is one of my favorite D.E. Stevensons. Then there's The English Heir. I gotta find out. Because The English Heir could be related. I don't know. Well, we're gonna find out. Let's find out what the book is about. When Will Hasty returns from military service to his native Scottish village of Torfoot, he means to settle down on the family estate to a cozy life of farming. But before long, he learns something that sheds new light on the death 10 years earlier of his boyhood friend and neighbor, Ray. Will's quest for truth takes him on a journey that brings romance first amid the brilliant sunlight of the south of France, where he meets the enchanting Frenchwoman Julie. And then home again at Torfoot, where he finds true love and a fresh appreciation for the stark beauties of the Scottish border country. Okay, I gotta admit, it doesn't sound that amazing, but it's D.E. Stevenson, so it will be. Scottish borders, which is a beautiful area. Okay, so... yeah, I don't know. I just really don't know. Let's look at the first line. I don't have another one that I'm going to do. I'm definitely reading this one, but I may get to read a couple other books first. We will find out. So, Will Hasty remembered this scrap of poetry. Okay, I gotta read the poetry then. I skipped it. I traveled among unknown men in lands beyond the sea. Will Hasty remembered this scrap of poetry as he rode up the hill. Okay, that's not too bad, actually. Tying it to the epigraph, that's kind of cool. Not the most amazing sentence, but it does kind of appeal to me. So, water, August, done. September. So, it says September. Animal in the title or on the cover. So, I did Agatha Christie's Cat Among the Pigeons. It's a Hercule Poirot, which he's not my favorite, but it had two, cat and pigeons. So, I mean, come on. Late one night, two teachers investigate a mysterious flashing light in the sports pavilion while the rest of the school sleeps. There, among the lacrosse sticks, they stumble across the body of an unpopular games mistress, shot through the heart point blank. The school is thrown into chaos when the cat strikes again. Unfortunately, schoolgirl Julia Upjohn knows too much. In particular, she knows that without Hercule Poirot's help, she will be the next victim. So, ooh, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to expect a great opening sentence. What's her name? Christie never seemed to care. That's the prologue. I'm going to see if there's a chance that chapter 1 has a better opening sentence. I'm going to go with chapter 1 because It's a little more interesting. About 2 months earlier than the first day of the summer term at Meadowbank, certain events had taken place which were to have unexpected repercussions in that celebrated girls' school. Okay, not too shabby. The prologue, a little less. It's just like, it's morning of the last day of term. And it's like, well, bully for you. So, Cat Among the Pigeons, that's done. Books in the title or on the cover or is the main theme. I'm going with The Reading Life by C.S. Lewis. But guys, this is one that I have lots of recommendations for. Like great heaping gobs. Obviously, if you haven't read my book strings, there will be a new book strings book out in March. So I'm just saying, there's that. But there's also Sarah Monson has Book Nerds and Boyfriends, so it's 3 novellas. And really super cute. She also has her Overdue Librarian series. The 3rd one should be out, I think, by August or September. So yeah, it should be out. So you will be able to like have it if you've already read the other 2. Surely. There are the what's their names? Annie's Attic Mysteries. There are lots that have books in them. There are the Printed Letter Bookshop by Catherine Ray. This Secrets of Book Club, I think is the name of it, by Heather Woodhaven. Brilliant book. Loved that book. Oh, there's so many. I had a whole mystery series over there. I know Cynthia Hickey is one of them in it. There's the Books Afloat book. The Body in the Library, if you want to go Christie. I mean, there's a lot of books. A lot of books with books. Udell's Printer. I mean, it's about books. So, I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of books. So, this one I've had for quite a while, and I think I have picked it up a few times and started the first chapter, but I haven't continued, and it's not because it was one of his more difficult ones. It's that I always pick it up when I really have other things to be reading, and I want to do it. So, it is The Reading Life, so clearly it's about books, but it's really hard to see, but there are books on the cover as well, so it's got both. It says, this is what C.S. Lewis says: literary experience heals the wound without undermining the privilege of individuality. In reading great literature, I become 1,000 men and yet remain myself. Like the night sky in the Greek poem, I see with a myriad eyes, but it is still I who see. Here I transcend myself and am never more myself than when I do. And actually the back, you can see it's the wardrobe and the forest inside it. So that was kind of cool. Let's see if there's anything. Now, I'm not, it's just more about why he's writing about reading life. That just seems silly to keep reading. Oh, first sentence. There is a preface. I'm going to skip the preface. On the art and joy of reading in part 1, we seek an enlargement of our being that answers the question why we read. So I'm going to do that. There is a chance, absolutely, that I will find another book that comes out this year that is bookish. I better go check it. That is bookish. And if I do, I have to read that before I can swap it out. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'll be right back. Got to check my stuff. I got in there, and it was perfectly done. If I had waited to finish up like I almost did, it would have been overdone. And I've never burned a coffee cake, and I don't want to start now. So, November. This one is another one with 2 options. It has some sort of vehicle on the cover or in the title. So I've had this one on my TBR before. The Bletchley Riddle by Roger Sepetys and Steve Sheinkin. And then this one was given to me years ago at a local bookstore. They had arcs that they needed to get rid of, and this one was given to me. Girl from the Train. It's an international bestseller by Irma Joubert. Don't know anything about it, but I was like, okay. So we have train and a motorcycle, and let's see what the options are. Unless you tell me that I shouldn't do one, I'm going by the first line. Remember, you are bound by the Official Secrets Act. Summer 1940. 19-year-old Jacob Novus and his quirky younger sister Lizzie share a love of riddles and puzzles, and now they're living inside one. The quarrelsome siblings find themselves amid one of the greatest secrets of World War II, Britain's eccentric code-breaking factory at Bletchley Park. As Jacob joins Bletchley's top minds to crack the Nazis' Enigma cipher, 14-year-old Lizzie embarks on a mission to solve the mysterious disappearance of their mother. The Battle of Britain rages and Hitler's invasion creeps closer, and at the same time, baffling messages and codes arrive on their doorstep while a menacing inspector lurks outside the gates of the Bletchley mansion. Are the messages truly for them, or are they a trap? Could the riddles of Enigma and their mother's disappearance somehow be connected? Jacob and Lizzie must find a way to work together as they race to decipher clues that unravel a shocking puzzle that presents the ultimate challenge. How long must a secret be kept? I don't know why I haven't read it, because it sounds so good. First things first, a riddle. Okay, I do like that. It's not like amazing, but on the other hand, that's really cool. The girl from the train. The girl from the train has traveled a great distance to reach your hands. The story was originally published in South Africa, where it became a bestseller before traveling to the Netherlands, again becoming a bestseller. Its author, Irma Joubert, taught history for over 30 years before turning her hand to writing. The Girl from the Train was published originally in Afrikaans in 2013, and we are proud to bring this beautiful story to English language readers. Okay. This is Gret Schmidt's story from the time we first meet her at age 6 as she squeezes between the bars of a train car bound for Auschwitz until we leave her in her early womanhood as she builds a new life for herself in South Africa. Gret's story was inspired by true stories from German war orphans who were resettled in South Africa during and after World War II in an effort to strengthen the Aryan bloodlines of a country already fraught with racial and ethnic strife. Gret's father is a fallen SS soldier, and she has been christened in the Lutheran Church, but her maternal grandmother is Jewish. And as Gret finds herself surviving life in the ghetto and falling from the train into the life of Jacob, a Polish factory worker and political dissident, Jacob's peasant family cares for Gret, or is it Gretel? I can't tell. This time it looks like there's an L after it. It could be Gretel. As best they can until the ravages of war and her secret identity force Jacob to surrender her to an orphanage in Germany. As we view the world through young this time it's definitely Gretel's. Great. Gretel's eyes, and then see her emerge into a world free from the inhumanities of war, but fraught with its own injustices and suffering. We encounter a universal story. Okay, I'm stopping here. You know what? I am absolutely not interested. And I feel terrible about that. But the back copy is so heavy in just... Okay, someone's going to have to tell me that this book is amazing, or I'm getting rid of it. It's that much. I'm getting rid of it unless someone tells me this book is amazing. Let go, her grandmother said. Yeah. Not doing this one unless I'm actually getting rid of this unless someone tells me I need to read it. So if you've read it and you think I will like it, please tell me. But that back, it's just like a bunch of like info dump, totally uninterested. which is funny because all of the things that it's talking about are things that interest me, but that doesn't. I'm like, no. So whatever. Okay, the last one is December. True or false? Okay, so based upon what Chantel said about true or false, this is how I added like a sub whatever. I said true or false. The words or synonyms of them in the title, or the title is either true or false. So I went with, I have not read this yet. I've had it since 2019, I think, maybe even sooner, earlier, whatever. This is 2017, so probably I'm probably right about 2019. Could be 2018 even. The Gray Mask by Patricia Wentworth. It's a Miss Silver mystery. Someone has told me in the past that this is indeed the first book. I went with Gray Mask because gray in the whole black and white idea, right, wrong. Gray is supposed to be like in the middle, so it's neither true nor false. But mostly mask, because when there's a mask, something isn't what it seems. So I went with that. And I don't know if that is accurate to the story, but it is accurate to the word. And so I'm going with that. All right. Governess turned detective Miss Silver investigates a deadly conspiratorial ring. Charles Moray has come home to England to collect his inheritance. After 4 years wandering the jungles of India and South America, the hardy young man returns to the manor of his birth, where generations of Morays have lived and died. Strangely, he finds the house unlocked and sees a light on in one of its abandoned rooms. Eavesdropping, he learns of a conspiracy to commit a fearsome crime. Never one for the heroic, Charles' first instinct is to let the police settle it. But then he hears her voice. Margaret, his long-lost love, is a part of the gang. To unravel their diabolical plot, he contacts Miss Maud Silver, a one-time governess who applies reason to solve crimes in the face of the dangers of London's underworld. So, I've wanted to read the Miss Patricias, and I haven't even let myself get the audio, if there is one. I haven't even let myself look, because I've got this book, and Dad Burden, I need to read it before I decide if I want to start spending money on them. Okay. Mr. Packer dangled the heavy bunch of keys for a moment before laying them on the table. Boring. It does nothing. Tells me absolutely zippo, nada, nothing. But that's okay, because... yeah, so that is one incredibly huge pile. Okay, and here they are. I can't even get them all in one shot. So we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So that's my plan for the year. And yeah, let's go put them on the shelf. Okay, guys, that's it. That's my 2026 Chantel Read Your Bookshelf Challenge selection. There is an extra book in there because map. Do I want Unbetrothed or Beyond Mulberry Glen? I have to choose between those. I really don't want to leave an extra book up on the shelf. I can't decide on those two. I also am willing to be changed on place, this one or the Warsaw Sisters, and I'm willing to have my mind changed on books with 5 words or more in the title. I have Nightfall in the Garden of Deep Time, so that feels to me like it's a bookish, secret gardenish kind of magical realism thing. You're gonna have to work hard to convince me to read this instead. I mean, I can read this anytime. work hard to convince me to read it, you don't have to. Jamie, I want to read it. But so there's those options. On Sunday, there will be a video for the introduction to, actually I need to film that after I do this. Anyway, to introduce the Bookmas, Dear Uncle Eric, Agony, and / Uncle thing. We'll have that go up. There's a like an introduction kind of thing before the daily things. That'll go up on Sunday, and then on Monday there will be 2 videos because I need to do my update on what I've been reading. Good stuff, not a lot, but good stuff, and I'll get into that then. And then and picking next week's reads. But then there will also be the daily Bookmas. So there'll be the first, letter to Uncle Nick and his reply, all the thing. So yeah, that's what's going on here. That's what's going. And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, those of you in the US or other places that decided to celebrate. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Meanwhile, I'll see you on Sunday night / Monday.